Let's say you're completely new to playing Doom. I know it might seem like crazy talk considering how often people gush over Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, but believe it or not, I myself hadn't played any of the new age Doom games until the Dark Ages. Yeah, I'm kind of ashamed, but yeah, if you're a degen like me and you're only picking up Doom now for the very first time, don't worry, I got a few tips for you so you can die less, kick more demon ass, and have more fun right away. Starting with, thing number one, parrying is literally everything. You're gonna learn early on when playing Doom the Dark Ages that parrying can both protect you against incoming damage and also deflect projectiles back at your attackers. However, considering this is a first-person shooter, you may be tempted to say to yourself, F that, I'ma just shoot everything. If that is your mentality, I'm gonna tell you what my father told me when I accidentally knocked over the Christmas tree into the crowd during my school play. You effed up, kid. Parrying is everything in Doom the Dark Ages. Yeah, you have guns that do mega damage and are awesome, but parrying is key for creating openings, stunning enemies, and just straight up saving your ass. It is imperative that you get the hang of it right away, and don't worry, if the parry window in Elden Ring is the salty spittoon, then by comparison, the parry window in Doom the Dark Ages, respectfully, is Weenie Hut Jr. The game is still really fun, but especially on most projectile attacks, the timing is almost impossible to F up, even on nightmare difficulty, so don't be afraid. Parrying up close melee attacks might be a bit more difficult, but that'll be something you learn on an enemy-to-enemy basis. The very first melee spammy parry enemy you fight might be challenging because you don't know all of their moves yet, but by the time you square up with the 100th one, it'll be just another day at the office. Furthermore, because of how important parrying is, I recommend that you prioritize buying upgrades at the upgrade shrine that focus on parrying in one way or another. A great example of this would be Retaliation and then getting to Steadfast as soon as you can. Steadfast technically doesn't help you with parrying, but if and when your shield breaks because you mistimed a parry, that is basically what I would imagine it would feel like to suddenly have all your clothing vanish while you were in the middle of a grocery store. Steadfast gets you your shield back faster when it breaks, so you can return to parrying once more. Also, and I don't think this should be a problem, but if you're having trouble with the timing of doing a parry, remember that you can go into the in-game settings and then manually adjust the size of your parry window. Or if you feel that the parrying in Doom is too easy, you can be a complete Chad and make the window smaller. Do whatever makes you happier. Remember though, to be careful about parrying because you can easily fall into an overly defensive mindset. Parrying can and will save your life, but this is Doom. Defend yourself, but sure, but you gotta make openings and then shoot the Christ out of people with well-balanced offense in order to succeed. Thing number two, explore 100% of the map even if you know you're going the wrong way. This is definitely an old school OG kind of tip. It ain't nothing new. Even Himmel in the Party of Heroes was doing this shit years before killing the Demon King. In a nutshell, it's like this. Even if you know you're going the right direction, if you haven't explored and uncovered the entire map yet, you should maybe go in the wrong direction and explore more. Reason being, there's probably valuable stuff that you're missing. Doom is notorious for having tons of secret areas which can have items like gold or other goodies which you can spend at the upgrade shrine. Reminder that buying things at the upgrade shrine is a hugely important thing to do as often as you can because getting those upgrades makes you way more lethal. In short, you need money to get upgrades, and Doom loves hiding upgrade currency in secret areas and rooms. There's also things like hidden mini-boss fights where when you finally kill the boss in question, you unlock a permanent upgrade like more maximum health or more max ammo. You can burn through the entire game if you want, you're entitled to play how you want to play, but if you beeline right to the end too fast, you might miss a bunch of stuff, and that stuff can make you way stronger. So if you think you found the right way to go, maybe go the other way first. Thing number three, you don't need to insta-ad clear all the time. What I mean by that is, once you figure out the general flow of combat and you start to fight bigger and tougher enemies, you'll eventually come to view low-level enemies as nothing more than an annoyance. An annoyance that you'll likely want to remove off the battlefield as soon as you can, so you can focus your attention on the big bad, more lethal enemies. And while there's nothing wrong with doing that, let me remind you that you can also save low-level weak bad guys on the field as kind of a living, breathing restock option. Remember, killing enemies in a certain fashion and paired together with certain upgrades will have those enemies dropping items for you guaranteed. For example, if I melee a low-level demon to death with my upgraded flail, I get guaranteed ammo and armor. Therefore, rather than insta-clearing all of the trash off the battlefield right away, which they respawn during certain fights anyway, I might leave just a few of them alive on purpose. That way, if I need to take a break from fighting the bigger, stronger demon to quickly replenish some armor or ammo reserves, I can find one of them little bish guys, bash him in the face, restock, and then get back to the fight. In that regard, the little guys are basically basically kind of there for your benefit. They're walking restockers. Use them to your advantage when you can. Thing number 4, stunning is huge. Relatively early on in Doom, you're going to get the ability to chuck your shield at enemies, and if it's a big or toughish level enemy, the shield will get embedded directly in their body, causing them to be stunned. This is huge, and as you get through the early to mid stages of the game and fight bigger and tougher guys, this move will absolutely save you in a pinch, especially when paired together with disgusting close-range heavy-hitting weapons like the super shotgun. Some enemies have armor that you'll have to break before performing the combo, but if they have no armor, it's almost too free. Throw the shield at them, they are now stunned, now go up point blank and disintegrate them with the super shotgun. Towards the later portion of the game, you'll eventually lock an upgrade for your shield runes called Gigawatt. When you've unlocked the final rune column called Heaven Splitter, I highly recommend saving up your gold and immediately buying the Gigawatt upgrade when you can. At base, the Heaven Splitter rune will allow you to stun multiple enemies after parrying an incoming projectile. The Gigawatt upgrade allows the stun effect to last for even longer. Let me tell you, you can punk enemies so badly with this parry tech that it's just ridiculous. Again, Heaven Splitter and Gigawatt won't open up to you until much later in the game, but absolutely remember to grab it when you can because it is so free. Thing number 5, don't be stingy with ammo. It was probably because I'm used to how other FPS games work that when I saw how low my base ammo reserves were in Doom the Dark Ages and thought, damn, I really got to be careful with how much I shoot. But yeah, you really don't need to worry about ammo conservation as much as you might think. Enemies will literally straight up drop ammo when you land melee attacks, as we mentioned earlier, so go crazy. When I first picked up the shotgun and then later the super shotgun, I was very reluctant on how often I wanted to use it. Now though, I just spam the super shotgun repeatedly, and I'm surprised when I do manage to run out of ammo because it happens really rarely. Again, if you're a new player and you see how little you have in the mag for your shotgun or any weapon, yeah, I get it, but again, just pulverize and bash enemies when you run low, you'll literally be fine. No matter how low you're looking on reserves, you are just 1 or 2 melee attacks away from being right back up to full. Thing number 6, know enemy engagement ranges and don't be afraid of them. As we briefly talked about in the parry section of today's vid, different enemies have different attack methods and different attack speeds, and learning the timing of when to parry each of them will vary foe to foe. And just as you'll have to learn the timing of when to parry a certain enemy attack, you'll also have to learn proper spacing on an enemy-to-enemy basis as well. For example, the Cyber Demon. When you first encounter one, they are damned badass and fairly imposing to the point where you might say, well, F it, I'm gonna stay the hell away from that thing and shoot it from afar. But the Cyber Demon is actually way harder to fight at range than he is up close. The ideal engagement range is actually getting so close to it you can smell his goddamn breath. He'll hit you with melee attacks 2 at a time, but they're actually fairly easy to parry, and when you pull it off, you'll have a free window to just blast him with close range damage. There are other high level enemies with this pattern as well who are just straight up easier to fight from up close. Again, this definitely will be intimidating at first, but you just gotta learn to say F it and get right the hell in there. And on that note, thing number 7, if you're dying a lot, 99% of the time it means you're not being aggro enough. Doom's combat loop encourages hardcore aggression, and while there will be some times where you can play back on your heels a little bit, most of the time you want to be storming in and ramming the barrel of your gun down the frickin' throat of your enemies. Being close means you can bait out close range parries, you can shield bash to kill crowds of weaker baddies so they can't projectile spam you, you can melee and finish weaker enemies to get ammo, health, and armor, you can be close to perform finishers on enemies when they're on the brink of dying. You get the idea. Again, there will be moments where you can play chill and use longer range weapons, but there's a reason there ain't no sniper rifle on the Doom weapon roster. It ain't the end of the world if you're taking a lot of tries to get through an encounter, especially on higher difficulty, but if it's happening a lot, just ask yourself, am I truly rip and tearing as hard as I possibly can? The answer is most likely no. Be sure to ring the notification bell so you don't miss the upcoming video of my actual reactions to playing a Doom game for the first time. Get ready for a lot of cussing on that video. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.